Well, I'm Michelle Berger. I gave you all a little questionnaire, and it's nothing like a test or anything. It's just something, I just wanted to get kind of a gauge on where you're at with your mindset and some of just the general basic fitness questions. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Oh, can you write your name on there for me? That'd be great. I didn't put a spot for a name, so if everybody could write their name on there so I can keep really straight.
I'll do that too if I can see it. I want to get a copy of that too.
Yeah. Give it to you right now before I forget. Yeah, and it's the outline on there too. So, thank you, Elsa. Just real quick introduction of what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to go just over some few basic things about fitness. I'm not going to dive too deep into anything, but you're free to ask any questions about pretty much anything to do with fitness, diet, exercise, nutrition, things like that. I consider myself a specialist in women in their fitness quest and in hormones. So that's where Tammy and I are truly connected to each other, as far as we just are totally excited about hormones and all the things that they can help you in your body. And also we understand that a lot of times they're not very nice to us, and we have to find ways to figure out to make life better. And quality of life is very important, and it's not just about getting through it, it's about enjoying it. So I'll let you just finish out your questionnaire real quick, and then we'll get started.
Quest at JDU service and did team building and did a ropes course.
Very
it was
cool.
Hilarious.
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 How fun.
But I'd done your abs workout video the day before, and so yesterday I was on this ropes course going, I'm coming. Sorry, Michelle, I'm not doing that workout tonight.
So at least it worked. At least you knew it was effective.
Oh, very effective.
If you're done with your questionnaire, I'll take them. Here it is. Done. Thank you. And I didn't get your name. What was your name?
Jenny.
Jenny. Okay. I'm Michelle. Yes. Are you done with your questionnaire?
No.
Oh.
Do I have to hand it in now?
No, it's just something I just was gonna just kind of skim over them real quick and just gauge kind of where you guys are at a little bit, so I can make sure that we address things that apply to you guys. So.
We had somebody this morning ask her some nutrition questions and stuff. She got a little stuck, kind of plateauing on some of her food choices. So really, nothing's off limits. So take advantage of her being here while she's here if you think of anything.
All right. Well, let me just go ahead and get started. I am the person in this meeting. These are me. So I know I don't quite look exactly the same all the time, but yeah, this Slim Chick DVD is a band system. All of you should have got it. So it's just a little great program, pretty much that anyone can do. And don't feel like you ever have to do everything perfect on the DVDs either. It's just a way to get you started and get you learning and get you moving towards the right direction, and just something that you can do, whether you have an hour to work out or 11 minutes. I mean, that's the basis behind this. It's just really trying to get you moving and consistent and activating your muscles a little bit, because every little bit counts. So I wanted to also just introduce the fact that I'm an author. I wrote a couple of books, and one of them is called Hormonal Timing, and this is the flagship of what I do is I teach women about their hormones, and most of my clients are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I don't specialize in menopausal women. I do deal with a lot of clients that are have had hysterectomies and are past menopause. But honestly, my mission and my goal is to really reach the everyday woman that doesn't really realize how all these hormones are affecting her, so that by the time she reaches menopause, she's not blindsided by it and just totally caught off guard and has no idea what's going on. So basically how I got into this is I went to school for exercise science, nutrition, and also coaching. And I got out of that, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and then I realized that personal trainers don't make much money. So I went into home sales, and I did that for a couple of years, and then I quickly had 4 kids in 4 years. And in between my college years and having kids, I kind of started struggling a lot with my own personal weight issues. I had always been an athlete in high school and college, and it was never an issue for me until I stopped and I had to go into the real world and have a job and all this stuff. So I was starting to get frustrated, and then I got pregnant, and then I had 4 kids in 4 years. So hormones was my middle name. I mean, I'm like walking, talking hormone. I had twins, and so I had 2 children, and then I had twins. And the twin pregnancy really was crazy because, you have twice as many hormones because there's twice as many babies in there, and twice as many placentas, and all this stuff. So it was just really devastating, and my body was just shot. Having that many kids that quickly, and having twins by C-section, and just absolutely no time to take care of myself. So you listen to that, and I was young, thankfully. I wasn't injured or anything like that, so I was able to regain my body. And part of what I did was I took my learning from school and I married it with my personal experiences and came up with my hormonal timing training program. And that's the way I've trained myself and countless other women over the last 10 years. So for me, I lead by example. I don't teach anything that I don't truly believe in and apply myself. And I really take pride in the fact that, people watch me and want to, learn how they can apply to their life too. So I'm big on lifestyle. I'm not like a fitness fanatic or anything. The most I ever work out is maybe 1 hour, 5 to 6 times a week. And, that's at a very, that's quite a bit, for maybe the average person, but not somebody that's usually a fitness fanatic.
Right.
They're really going crazy. And so I really believe in integrating it in your lifestyle and doing things that are most effective and very beneficial to your overall being. As far as hormones are concerned, there's a lot of bad practices in different diets and exercise programs too that have a negative effect on your overall being. And then within, maybe it'll work right away, but then 2 or 3 years down the road, you aren't really, you're feeling horrible and it didn't do what you were hoping to do, and that's when yo-yo dieting happens and things like that. So all about long-term goals, long-term success, and keeping you happy and healthy so that as you go along in life, you can really stay active and enjoy your families and your friends and all that. So the key thing with what I do is hi there.
Hello.
I went from training people in the gym. After I had my kids, I developed my program, and I was begged by different ladies to train them. And so I was like, okay, I'll get back into training again, and I'll train you. And had a lot of clients, had as many clients as I possibly wanted, and then I was like, I don't have any time. I have 4 little kids. I can't hardly, I can't keep up with all this. Plus, this isn't my goal. My mission really became to spread the word and to really give hope to ladies, and basically use my own self as a guinea pig, and just started a website. And I was like, I can reach so many more people this way. And so I started that about 9 years ago, and it's just exploded. And the amount of ladies I've been able to reach all over the world is insane. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people over the last 10 years. And I do personal training online, so it's where you basically email system back and forth telling them what to do, but I'm not there with them, everything else they get that they need. And it came to a point to where I'm like, I need to write a book, because I'm regurgitating all this information in just bits and pieces to people instead of giving them a whole package deal. So I took about 9 months of my life and wrote a book, and it was like a pregnancy, and it was hard. I never thought it would be that hard. Oh yeah, write a book. It's it's really hard. So then I decided to write another one. So I wrote another little one about abs, and this is called After Baby Abs. And whether you've had kids or not, it's really applicable with a lot of the things that you deal with in the tummy area. And actually, I'm starting a contest in a couple weeks we're going to do 20 days to tight tummy. So I run contests for free a lot of times on my website,
and they're really fun and they're really motivating. You should send you emails.
It's just it's all virtual, and it's just you can get involved as much as you want. And so typically we'll offer prizes and do some really fun little things. And so I've been doing online contests now probably for about 5 years. So there's I do different length ones. I've had a lot of success with the shorter ones lately. I think people have ADD really bad or something. So I'm like, okay, 20 days, we can do this for 20 days. And I just did, my last one was a butt contest. We call it the hot hiney contest. And that was, thank you. That was a fun, losing papers everywhere. So we did, our heinies in the spring, and now we're going to do our tummies. So got to get the whole body eventually. But
and I love what you say about having twins and having a C-section, because we as women are sort of told that if we've had a C-section, there's no way we can have abs again. Mm-hmm. And Michelle's living proof.
Yeah, and
I've had a C-section too.
And the truth of it is for anyone, anywhere, genetics plays a little role in how your body metabolizes things, and maybe your propensity to different body types and everything like that. But scientifically, there's no reason why everyone can't have an excellent body. It really, when it comes down to it, our bodies want to be awesome. And if we treat it correctly and use it correctly, it's amazing what you're capable of. And I always say I'm still in shock of how much potential I have not tapped yet in my body. And that's almost something that keeps me going a little bit. It's like, I want to just see if I could do this, let me try this. And the same thing, that's the thing with after having children and having a C-section and things, you got to believe that body is still able to come together and be whole again. And once you really believe it and you start envisioning it and taking the action that you need to make it a reality, it's just a matter of time before it happens. So, I always say the first step to, really getting anywhere and any goal, especially in your body, is really believing. And we have so many negative media and also family and friends and people that are trying to be nice and comfort you and say, hey, you know what, just, give yourself a break. After you have kids, your body's never going to be nice anymore. What about her over there, And so that's really...
Kiss that mini skirt goodbye. Like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Or you got to dress like this now. Now you got to go shop at J. Jill instead of,
Forever 21.
Yeah, wherever I want to shop, like the junior section, wherever. So, it's just, it's really, part of what I believe in is that, you guys are here for a reason. You stepped up and you said, you know what, I want to change. And that's often the hardest thing to do, and to decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to make myself into a better woman, and I'm going to educate, and I'm going to empower myself, and I'm going to keep all this information in the forefront of my mind. So some of that was the first question that I asked you on here. Let me get you.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't want you totally lost. So.
You're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the first question.
This is your email.
Thanks. Look at you.
Yeah.
She's our keeper.
Yeah, the first question was, really, why are you here? And, that's more so about just motivating, really keeping that in the forefront of your mind is so important when you're thinking about your fitness goals and looking at a workout going, you know what, I could sit down and read this book for 20 minutes, or I could go for a 20-minute walk. And, the decisions that you face constantly like that, you need to come back to, why did I sign up for Project Fabulous? Why did I decide to change? And you need to not forget it. Even writing it down on your hand or just having sticky notes everywhere, because it's easy to forget. We get crabby and we're, not feeling very good or tired, and you're like, I totally forgot. I just, So you don't want to just keep it up in the forefront of your mind, and that's so much of what I love about you guys signing up with Tammy's class is she teaches about the 10 biobalance, the 10 things of the biobalance system. In every single one of those are affected by what you eat and what you do physically, and it's everything works better if you are being physically active. Your body was made to move. And it doesn't have to be perfect what you do. Just a little bit, every little bit counts. And, just like, for instance, something that I really integrated over the last couple of years is the standing workstation. So I truly try to stand up during my work day. There's times when, to really focus and things, I need to sit down and get behind a desk. But for the most part, a lot of what we do, in and off the computer is if we're standing up behind it, you can, and just that one thing was huge for me. I felt, a lot of benefits just getting up off of my butt, and, this little tiny things, every little thing adds up. And so anything that you can think of to integrate, there's all those tips like, park farthest parking space away, and seriously, stuff like that. It is amazing how it adds up. So really, let's go ahead and look, if you want to look at the outline that I have for you. So really want to just cover just the basics of things. And if you have any questions as we're talking about any of this, just go ahead and chime in or raise your hand or hit me over the head or something. So the basics of fitness, it's been proven time and time again. Fitness is, doing exercise is better than taking Prozac. It's so good for your mental state. It's so good for your physical state. Your heart, your lungs, your circulation, your prevention of diabetes and insulin resistance. It just makes everything work better. And the basis of that is that it's on a cellular level. The changes that happen when you exercise, you're not going to see in the mirror on a scale right away, because it has to change on every little itty bitty cell in your body has to change first. And it's all about how the energy in your body is metabolized and how your oxygen transports and nutrients transport into your cells and into your muscles. So, it's not something that's, easily measured on, fitness. We could do fitness, assessments, but really, for the average person, it's just a matter of getting out there and being consistent with it. So the basics, of exercise program, it's not going to do you much good to just, do 2 days a week, or 1 day and then don't work out for 2 weeks. And, the goal is consistency. And that's a lot of where hormones come in, and knowing your hormones and charting what's going on with you. In my book, one of the number one success tools that I talk about is charting your hormones. And especially in a program that you're in like this, to chart your hormones is vital, so that you can be in communication with Tammy on what's going on with your hormones, and especially if you're having any therapy with it, so that you can get it right. Because if you're just feeling like, I'm just feeling not so good, but give me some concrete information about this. So every day I really encourage you to write down how if you're tired, if you're stressed, if you're focused or not, if you're bloated, if you slept well last night, if you have acne, you break out with a bunch of zits, if you're crabby as all get out, if you're so hungry that you just you eat and then you want to eat again, and or maybe you have an awesome libido that day, and you're like, damn, this would be awesome. And like stuff like that is all hormonal, and even more things that you couldn't even imagine. So just keeping a chart, and after a couple months, you would be amazed. You'd be like, oh, I'm on cycle day 20, and I know every cycle day 20, I start crying. or every cycle day 25, I pick a fight with my husband, or different things like that. So, or on cycle day 7, I feel so sexy. I just want to go out and go out with my friends and dance and just have fun and go or with my husband or whatever it might be. You just feel like confident and great, and so there's all kinds of benefits to charting. So once you really start charting, it's amazing how much you learn about yourself. And
how are you?
Hi, good. Are you joining us?
I am.
Awesome.
Hey.
Hi there.
It's Emily, I'm nurse practitioner.
Yes, I know. Good to see you guys here. So just the basics of your hormones really affecting your fitness. And now there's a lot of really good things about hormones and fitness, because if your body is in a really good synced mode with all your sex hormones, as far as progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, it really helps all of that is, if it's in sync, you're going to really get better results in your fitness. And there's a lot of really good things that exercise does to those hormones, and especially the testosterone and growth hormone, which are youth hormones that we all have, or it's a certain little amount still, but when we're youthful, like your daughter here, she's packed full of these hormones, and so they're all about helping you stay young and youthful. And especially strength training or resistance training, anything that stresses your body as far as challenging your muscles will help stimulate those hormones in your body. And so a lot of what I do in my workout is all about that. I'm like, I just want as much of that as I can get. So I purposely do things in my workouts to really help stimulate those youth hormones, so that when I'm still on 38, but I want to stay feeling like this in so many regards, mentally and physically, forever. So if I can do things in my workouts, which I can and I know about, that's really what I focus my workouts on. And so that's why I'm a big proponent for strength training. Honestly, I don't think it's as daunting as going for a 60-minute jog or something like that. It sounds horrible to me. Or being on elliptical for I don't do cardio for more than like 20 minutes ever. And so strength training to me is a godsend, and the way I feel afterwards and the long-term effects are just so much more beneficial in my mind.
And the number one myth is that you're going to look like a man, but look at Michelle's arms. Do it. Show me your arms.
Yeah, my arms.
She's very feminine.
I really try
she
to get.
lifts a lot of weight.
I lift weights like
a man
almost every
would
day.
probably.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, and that's the truth of it, is like naturally as a woman you just don't have much testosterone. You don't have much growth hormone, and you're not gonna get manly. The women that do look manly from it, they often are doing other things. It's not, they're on purpose trying to get bigger muscles, and I'm just trying to stay strong and healthy and keep what I have from disintegrating off my body, because the second I stop weight training and I don't feel as good mentally, I really notice a big difference. And also just instantly I start losing the muscle that I have built. And it's not like you build it instantly either. I mean, I've been working out consistently for over 9.5 years and weight training a lot, and this is as big as I get. I can't even get any bigger than this, So really, the truth of it is it's a huge fallacy that women could ever bulk up. It's something that marketers do to just market their product, and so you always have to look at any fitness information with a grain of salt. And that brings me to a huge point that I believe in. Whoever you're looking to for fitness advice, just look at them and say, do I really want to follow their advice? Are they leading by example? or do they even look like they know what they're talking about? And if it's somebody that, there's a lot of really well-meaning fitness people out there, a lot of other ones that aren't. A lot of them are trying to just make money off you, or try to sell you a multi-level marketing program, or not all that's bad, but it's just a matter of looking towards the experts, and and that's again why I'm so glad that you guys are here working under the mentorship of Tammy and teaching you so much about so many things that it's just amazing that we have this information available, and that Tammy's willing to do this and teach you about all that. So the other thing about fitness is exercise is the only way you really stimulate the lymphatic system. And honestly, I don't think a lot of people even know they have a lymphatic system. but it's kind of like a circulatory system for wastes in your body, but it doesn't have a heart. So the only way they get out of your system is with movement. And one of the best ways, anything that your body bounces up and down, like so like running and walking, like when you're walking you kind of jiggle up and down, those type of exercise, they really stimulate the lymphatic system and also your liver too, and help get those toxins out. So if you don't spend any time in your life doing something that is moving, you really end up with toxins built up, and that's a lot of what cellulite is. And when you go, it's just all like kind of bubbly looking. That is a lot. Yes, some of it's fat, but a lot of it is the toxins in your body. And so, especially when you're trying to really change your body, you have to do things to get those toxins out. And definitely eating. We get toxins from the things we eat, the things in our environment.
I'm scared him to death about it.
Oh, about toxins, yeah. Yeah, you
afraid to eat anything.
You go live in a bubble and not eat anything but chicken and rice, or either chicken and
That's
green
got
beans.
hormones and it's genetic and
Yeah,
rice.
yeah, exactly. Go live on a homestead somewhere and grow everything yourself. But so you just have to become aware of the fact that exercise is great for eliminating toxins, and any movement where you're just moving your body, but also with strength training and resistance training, as say like you're doing a bicep curl, those muscles contract and they literally squeeze the toxins that are trapped in there out. So if you're regularly, like squeezing your bicep, you're not only building your muscle, but with the contraction and, using some resistance, but you're literally squeezing those toxins out of your body. And the more toxins you can get out, the more you're going to see the fluff disappear, and you're going to start being able to see the fruits of your labor as far as, really changing your body and helping you to become more healthy. And the toxins, they're not just bad for how they look. They're bad for your cells and how they work. That's the goal, is to get every cell in your body working effectively and efficiently, and creating energy, so you have energy. And if your cells aren't working right, you're gonna just feel ugh. There's gonna be full of garbage and sludge, and like I say, sometimes I feel like I have sludge in my veins. And then you just think about that. If there's toxins and they're in your cells, it's just nothing's going to work right. And then you start having disease, come about, where you have diabetes show up, or you end up with plaque in your arteries, or hormones aren't working right, your pancreas isn't working, your thyroid is not producing correctly. So basically everything, so many diseases can be prevented through proper diet and exercise. Now, we talked about strength training as the fountain of youth. And not only with what I talked about with the hormones, you want growth hormone and testosterone, but you also, the fountain of youth as far as just how you look and how you feel. So you look at, say, what someone that's 80 years old looks like versus someone that's 25. What's the biggest difference in them typically? Usually it's their muscle. If they, you lose muscle as you age, and as you get older, you lose more and more and more of it. So if you're not actively trying to rebuild it, you're going to be, going backwards, towards aging. But if you can actively rebuild it, you're going towards youth. And so, and now with all we know about strength training and the benefits and the hormones it stimulates, and there's really no reason why you shouldn't strength train. I mean, there's, of course, the biggest thing with any fitness program is it has to be at your level. Like what I say I do for my workout is more of an advanced level workout, or even elite, versus where you guys are at. We want to make sure that you're not doing anything that's like detrimental to your health and that you're ready for, but you want it to continually progress and move from being a beginner to an experienced workout person to advanced, and then to an elite level type physical person. So what my goal is as a personal trainer, and part of why I had you guys fill out this questionnaire, is just to kind of figure out where you're at a little bit, and just with a few short questions, and typically just talking to you just for a brief period of time, I can tell, okay, this client is, actually in a pre-beginner state, or this one, man, they know a lot about what I'm talking about. They know all the exercises. They know, kind of what the jive is, so they're more advanced. And so I really hone in on that. A good personal trainer doesn't have everybody do the same thing. And, that's where, if you are looking for someone to help you with your fitness goals, it is worth it to, if you really find someone good and that writes a program for you that is at your level that you can do, and stick to it. A lot of what everybody that got the DVDs, there's just a little calendar on here, and these are really, I had the beginner level and the experience level. All of you should be able to do the beginner level, but like I said, the DVDs, there might be some moves in there that you can't do right away, but within a month of doing them, you should be coordinated enough and have some muscle memory and be able to get a little stronger, just so that you can do them. And then once you feel comfortable with doing the beginner level, then you can move forward and increase and get to the next level, because the goal is to get you better and better and better, because your body wants to improve, and it does improve. It's amazing how quickly it will get stronger and coordinated and things. So now, like, a lot of why I had you fill out this questionnaire was not so much for me as it is for you guys. Identifying what your goal is, where you want to be, is a very important thing. If you look at, really, none of you have unrealistic expectations. You just want to be healthier. You're here because you just want to have a better quality of life. And and two, with the weight ranges that you all put down, nothing is out of reach. Believe that you can do that. And the one question about have you been this way before, the key thing with that, look at what your life was like then. And I mean, I'm sure it was maybe completely different, but who were you as a person? What was your mindset about food? What was your mindset about exercise? What were you doing to actually be that way? Maybe it was just like when you were a teenager and it was the highlight of your life, you were in high school, it was great. But more likely than not, these really, a realistic adult weight is more so, probably in your 20s, you're just like, I felt good, I exercised, I watched what I ate, I made sure I didn't, just drink pop all day long, I didn't sit down all day long. Kind of look at what you were doing and how you felt, and start envisioning yourself at that place again. How you felt, how you reacted, how people reacted to you, how, you just rebuild that confidence in you that you can regain that. And I really think that, with time, I believe everyone can attain their goals as far as with weight loss, and especially when you're looking at taking an overall system like this, because we're not going to leave any of you out hang to dry, because, I've been trying this forever and I found out, a year down the road that it was my thyroid that it was low. Tammy's got that covered for you guys, so make sure you follow through with doing your labs and doing your allergy tests. One thing that we talked about was food sensitivities. If you have, if you're really sticking to, your caloric intake, keeping it at the level where you should be losing weight, and week after week after week, you're not seeing results, there's definitely something going on. It's not just, you're plateaued or something. There's something wrong as far as in your hormones, or something with a food allergy or sensitivity that you're unaware of, just something that you're eating that's just throwing your body into maybe a stress level that you don't even know is there, maybe, and it's just making you hold on to that weight, because you really shouldn't have to struggle through any of those plateaus, especially when you have a system like this in place for you. So
I think that's great too. You mentioned in the class this morning that your tool is on your website, the actual hormonal tracker, and so I think that's really powerful to track your hormones, because then you can actually come back to Emily or me and say, during this time there's a problem here,
right? And then even the chart is just this one that we're referring to. I'll show you just so you can. It's really just simple, and if you are just filling this out on a daily basis, I mean, it would take you maybe 2 minutes, not even. And this is a huge benefit to your doctors and your nurse practitioner, that you can just show them, say, hey, look, I've been tracking it every day. It's my weight. This is, my weight's not going down. It's not like me just thinking it's not going down, because it's not going down as fast as I want it to. But, it is truly not going down. I'm truly stressed. I have no focus. I can't think about anything. I can't get anything done. And have no energy, I'm in constant pain, or whatever it might be. Or maybe it is, where several days, on here, you feel great. And you're just remembering the days when you feel horrible. And you go, well, it's only really 3 days a month that I don't feel all that good. And usually it's right before I get my period, or right when I'm ovulating, or something like that. So once you really, are honest with yourself and you're writing it down, a lot of times, that tool in itself can just pinpoint what the issue is, and we
can target those few days and tell you to take a little extra progesterone or something in those days, so every month it's going to be predictable.
Exactly. And that's like one of the biggest things that that I did before I wrote the book. Like when I was trying to figure out what I used, how I used it. This training system is great for not only just everyday woman, but it's great for really transforming your body in the fastest way possible, and that's how I do things.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
So you're tracking that by your menstrual cycle, right?
Yeah, this is.
So if you're someone like me who's
that
had a
doesn't have it,
hysterectomy,
you still need to track it.
How are you going to track
right,
it?
you just
I don't
write
know where I'm at in a cycle.
Exactly. Just write the date in here and just track your symptoms.
By that.
Is that what's interesting? You reminded us this morning that we still cycle a little bit.
Well, right, and because
sometimes
they've always told me that you still have some of the symptoms and all that stuff, and the bloating and stuff, but you don't notice a lot of things quite as much because
you have a period to correlate it to.
Well, I think even with or without a cycle, every woman needs to be charting, and especially when you're trying to when you're using therapies and things like that, because if you're really bloated, it might just be a little bit of a hormonal imbalance on what type of hormone you're supplementing with. Or if you're constantly have no libido, that's a problem too. So we, charting it and being honest with yourself on here. Honestly, most women, we remember the bad things. We're like, every day I feel horrible, but then you start charting, like, oh no, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm pretty good. It helps that, but it also helps the doctors. So even if you don't have a cycle, now my program is based on a woman's hormonal cycle, but I say that men can even benefit from it, because what it is what we do. If you add the hormones to it, you get even better accelerated results. But when you are doing any program, your body adjusts after 2 weeks. Any diet, any exercise program, if you're doing the same thing all the time, expecting different results, it doesn't work. You know, the first 2 weeks of the program, your body is smart. It's amazing. You know, it'll adjust to what caloric range you're taking in. It'll adjust to the exercise you're doing, and it'll try to become as efficient as possible. It does not want to just shed weight easy. It wants to adjust and stay and hunker down and just be like, okay, we're holding on to everything, because it's you know, it's self-preserving system in your body. So what you got to do is you got to change it up. And so my program really, you know, helps you change it up every couple weeks. And so even if you're not, you know, really following it with your actual hormonal cycle, you just do 2 weeks of the buffing, followed by the 2 weeks of boosting, and then you go back to buffing for 2 weeks and boosting. And also mentally, it's a lot more of a win that way, because you're not always focused on the same exact things, and you don't get bored with it, and you don't lose. It helps you stay consistent, and it just really helps your metabolism stay strong through the whole process. Because if we're constantly, we're saying, okay, you can have 1,500 calories. Oh, that's not working. Let's put you down to 1,200. Oh, that's not working. Let's bump that down to 1,000. You know, like where's the end game with that? But if you are, you know, doing things to change it up and keep your body guessing and working through those things, and a lot of what I teach is about, you know, boosting phase is about boosting your metabolism. So we're working hard towards, you know, keeping that metabolism strong, so that when you hit your buffing phase, you can get really good results. So the whole program is just based upon really trying to keep you getting results in the long term. And it might not be the fastest way to go about it, but we all know that a lot of times fast doesn't mean success. But honestly, in my experience, in actually transforming people's bodies, it is one of the fastest way to do it, because to get long-lasting good results that you're truly happy with. So,
and this is an amazing group. I mean, I just have to brag on y'all. I mean, they get it. I mean, because, you know, working with them week after week, they want that. They want that sustainability. They're done with the instant quick fixes. They want the knowledge, and they really want to do this right. So they are in it for the long haul.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
that.
and your testimony to be here, you know, to sacrifice your time to come. And, you know, we really want to make it worth your while, and make sure that you're learning things that you can apply to your life. So, now, as far as, like I said, with the questionnaire, I'm going to give each one of you this back, but I want you to keep it, and keep it, you know, in the forefront of your mind, and be like, you know what, I wrote down that goal. I'm going to hold myself accountable to that. A lot of times we forget, like I said, we forget our goals. We forget why we're doing this. You know, okay, I signed up because I decided I was sick and tired of, you know, being overweight, or, you know, all the stress that I'm feeling, and things like that. So really what you want to make sure, you know, that's all about motivation and keeping your momentum. And a lot of what I end up dealing with my clients is just trying to get them to do it, you know, and trying to keep them focused and keep them doing it, and, you know, not just doing it for 2 weeks, but doing it for 2 years. And you know, it takes time to really see results, and making sure that you're on a program that's at your level is huge. Because if you, say for instance, if you jump in and you try to do my workouts, after 2 days, you're going to be like in the hospital, because you're going to be so sore, and you're going to be like, what's going on? And then you'll never start again. You'd be like so like frustrated and thinking about it, and you're like, that was so horrible. I do not want to do that. So you have to work out at your fitness level, and, you know, be patient with it, but be consistent. So, you know, don't feel like you have to jump in and do an hour, you know, every day for the next 6 days, and then you get 1 day off. It doesn't have to be that daunting. You know, just like 11 minutes, 20 minutes consistently, you know, every other day even. Just making sure that it becomes more of a habit and a long-term thing. You know, pretty soon that 20 minutes is going to turn into half an hour. You're going to be feeling better. You're going to have more energy. And like I say to you, a lot of times you have to really invest energy at first. You know, it's not going to be energy you have. You're not going to be feeling like doing it, you know, and it's going to be like, okay, I'm so tired, I cannot possibly do this workout. But it's just like you're planting seeds in the ground, and you're going to get a harvest in a matter of weeks. So just, you know, be patient with it. Usually the whole first month that you start an exercise program, you feel horrible. You feel just like that. You just don't. You're like, this is just pointless. And then all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit of energy come back to you, or you start feeling your pants are looser, and that's really comes down to
The reverse is true
measuring
too, because I
success.
know it's frustrating for me, like, to think that I can't do a level of workout that you probably do. And so I think even like when she's going to teach you like just some baby steps, getting started with some chairlifts and stuff, and you're thinking, oh, this is nothing, but I want to be doing so much more. But don't get discouraged in that, because everybody has to start from someplace. I mean, you started
Right.
small too, and started working your way up.
Exactly.
Too, so.
And everybody's been there. Don't think like Tammy and I were just talking about taking progress pictures and measurements and measuring your success. And even to this day, I take progress pictures at least every 3 months, if not more often. I take measurements, and because I want to hold myself accountable to that, I don't want to go back to where I was. I don't want to disappoint all the people that look up to me. And that's a huge motivation to me. I want to lead by example forever, and so for me to stay accountable to who I am and who I want to be, I do that for myself, and it's a whole nother way of measuring your progress too. If you're only looking at this scale, you're not going to see the true results. And if you're only looking in the mirror instead of taking pictures, you can't see what you look like 3 months ago. You can only see what you look like today, and a lot of times we skew that image in our brain. It takes a while for your brain to catch up to what's really the true image that you are in a picture or are in a mirror. Whereas in a picture, you can, it's real, it's right there. And so that's where I want you guys to take this sheet home and go ahead and take your measurements and take some pictures. You don't have to show anybody or anything, just for your own record. And then, like when it comes down to 3 or 4 months down the road and you've lost another 15 pounds, or you've lost 3 sizes in your pant size, and like, man, I'm gonna take another set and see what we're doing, and then you'll be like shocked at the difference. And it's really very good to measure your success in so many different ways. And like I said, you want to, with any program, challenge equals change, and vice versa, change equals challenge. So don't get stuck in a rut of doing the same thing, expecting more and more results. Because if you're only, putting in 10 minutes of a walk at lunch, and the first 2 weeks you get, maybe lose like 3 or 4 pounds or something, you're like, man, that's awesome, But if you just keep doing that, you're not probably gonna see more results, because you're not challenging yourself anymore. Whereas the first couple of weeks, just that 10-minute walk was challenging to your body. So you think about adding in, doing some resistant DVDs, or doing other fitness DVDs, or like what Tammy loves to do, the Just Dance. Everybody loves dancing, don't they? If you can find a place where your kids won't laugh at you, like they do me, I'm like,
we have dance offs at
Yeah.
my house,
Yeah.
and sometimes I think they practice when I'm not there.
Oh.
Of course they do.
That's
Because
unfair.
I just want to say that I had the highest score on all the Just Dance 2 songs.
Yeah. So,
And Emily likes to roller derby. I don't know if any of y'all remember the skating days. That's a good form of exercise.
That's awesome. Well,
Fresh meat on Wednesday nights, just putting that
well, the great thing about what you have here with Tammy, you have somebody that's an accountability partner, somebody you can ask questions about, someone that's looking at all the medical side of things for you, helping to make everything in sync. And it's just your part to put in the work when you're at home, and every meal you make, and every choice that you make as far as working out or not working out on a daily basis. So just do yourself a favor and follow through with everything that you're learning, and making sure you get in your labs, and it's really worth it. I mean, feeling good is 110% worth the effort. I mean, it pays off in so many ways, every single area of my life. And anyone that has had huge success in their just a body transformation, every part of their life gets better. And honestly, you know, it's worth taking the time to take care of yourself. So the next steps, you know, if any of you have any questions, I'm always available via email. I have a private women's only website called Team Buff Mother 2, and it's you know, where women just like you come and we blog about what we've done for our workouts, and like the contest I was talking about, where, you know, we have little contests here and there, and you know, some women really participate, other women just kind of read what's going on and, you know, just hone in. But it's you know, you have a built-in support group here with this group. It's so nice that you have other women that are kind of in the same place and thinking along the same lines. So having that support group is great. So, you know, you're not alone. And so what we'll do is we're going to do a little workout. And so I have, let's see.
I'm going to paint that on my wall right there. Challenge equals challenge.
Yeah. So I have, we're going to have to share bands unless, because I only brought.
And it's a good workout too, because I was
6.
just kind of modifying without bands this morning. And
Yeah, and several of them we don't even use the bands, but we'll just hand out these. These are the little workouts. Let me see, and I did want to give you. Full share band. Now it's yours. Workout. Did you get? What's your name? Is that yours? Here you go. Here's the little workout thing for you.
Pinterest has a really cool motivation of like people that have done the pictures, and they're like 8 pictures, and it shows them from beginning to end.
Before and after.
It's real powerful.
Oh, I know. It's just amazing, the transformation that can happen when you're just, it's just, and it just takes time. You know, it's like, you look at that, and a lot of them are a year or 2, some of them even, like how long
You can
it
tell
takes.
because their hair's completely different, or
Yeah.
you know.
it took probably about 4 or 5 months when I started working out consistently to really like start like looking in the mirror going, oh yeah, I got, you know, a nice little tight butt, you know, and I'm starting to get some abs and stuff. It wasn't even at until I met Michelle that I started getting abs because I did her program, but
Does anybody recognize this one?
you know, the changes
my
are
sorry. Yeah, well,
sometimes, you know, depending on how aggressive you are, but
exactly.
and I wasn't really doing the challenge equals change. I was kind of doing the same thing every day. I was just proud of myself for being consistent,
Yeah.
but I really wasn't mixing things up much either.
Yeah, and I mean, and everybody's body responds differently too, and it depends on where you're at and how much you have to lose. And really, the great thing about initially, you know, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could just go back to where I'm just starting, because you get so many results from every little thing you do when you're first starting. And then as you get more, you know, closer to your goal, that's why a lot of people are like, you know, that last 5 pounds is so hard to lose, or the last 15, because your body is really working at high capacity, and you know, you're not really in any problem, you know, you're not like in a bad place anymore. So a lot of times it is really hard to, you know, see things change as you get to an elite or advanced level. But you know, then you just have to get creative and find different things that motivate you, like, you know, trying roller derby and pole dancing.
Tell me if this is right, but one of my understandings is that you have to get up to your target heart rate. Because some people say, well, I'm moving all day long, or I'm busy, or I'm a waitress, and so I'm constantly moving.
Yeah.
But isn't it that you have to like get into that target heart rate and keep it there to burn?
Yeah, there's you know, any exercise raises your heart rate. So, you know, but just general I classify these things as activity versus exercise. So activity is great, you know, like what I said about standing workstation. That's me being on the activity side a little bit, but you know, and just being moving around. But definitely, your heart's a muscle, and you want to exercise it. It's the most important muscle in our bodies, and that's why you hear so much about doing cardio. You need to raise your heart rate. You need to go for a walk. So yeah, definitely, you know, you're supposed to, at 20 minutes, 4 times a week, you're supposed to get your heart rate up into a target range. And the target range isn't very hard. It's like maybe depending on your age, and usually like around 110 beats per minute. So it's not like super intense. Intense exercise is more around the 140, 150 range. That's where you're like, just really huffing and puffing. So definitely, that's the most important muscle work. But with weight training, resistance training, and you get like that the whole time. So it's not like you have to be walking and like this heart rate up. So they've even more and more studies are coming out to where people are like, well, cardio or weight training, and I'm like, do weight training, because that hour you're spending, or even 20 minutes you're spending doing it, you're raising your heart rate up. You're getting a lot of the same benefits as you do, as far as cardiovascularly, but you're building muscle, and your body is burning, and your metabolism is growing, and those results last for 72 hours afterwards. Whereas a walk for 20 minutes, pretty much the calorie burn is only during those 20 minutes, not for the next 3 days afterwards, because you get sore muscles. That's them repairing, and they're burning calories to repair. And then the more muscle you have, the higher metabolism is. And of course, also muscles really like to burn fat. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn off your body, and then that's how you get a leaner body composition. And that's really what we want, because we don't want excessive body fat around our organs and interfering with our whole metabolic pathways.
Plus, it helps with osteoporosis too. Usually within 5 years of menopause, when
Yes.
when bone density and then osteoporosis.
Anything
so
with resistance.
weight-
And I always talk about diabetes and heart disease, because that's my worries. And I don't have a lot of worries about osteoporosis, but the same thing with a lot of women are just petrified that the same, they look at their mothers or their grandmothers that have osteoporosis, and they're just miserable because of it. So definitely, like I said, it helps with everything. So we just want to make sure we do it. It's not fun, believe it or not. I don't like working out, and most people honestly do not like working out, but I like the benefits of it. And I like, feeling good and looking good, and all the benefits that leads to in my life. So I do it, and I really try to stay consistent with it. And we all go through seasons of life, but there's always at least 15, 20 minutes, and pretty much every day that we can decide to do something with to benefit our body. So what we're going to do is going to go over this little workout. So if you'd like to just stand up, we're going to start just really easy with just a little warm-up. And so basically we're just going to march in place. Now, whenever you're doing any exercise, I'm a stickler for form and a stickler for, posture. So, I'm like, you don't want to be like practicing looking horrible. So you want to practice looking awesome. So always, lift the chest, stand up tall, and when you're doing any walking or anything, don't be afraid to use your arms, and that it's just a natural thing to swing your arms. So now, warming up is so important for injury prevention, for just lubricating your joints. And during the summer it's awesome, because a lot of times you don't have to warm up quite as much because it's hot outside. But during the winter especially, you want to make sure that you don't just jump in and start doing squats or crazy exercise without just getting moving a little bit. So the goal is to get your heart rate up a little bit. Usually my cue is if I start sweating, but I know not everybody sweats like me. I sweat a lot. So, some ladies are like, I could do a whole workout and not even sweat. So I'm like, just to make sure you get a little warmth, where you start feeling a little bit of heat, into where you're not just so stiff anymore. Okay, so first exercise we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to use our chairs. And so these are an exercise that anybody can do, and they're chair squats. So what I want you to do is get your chair behind you and put your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart. So you think about where your shoulders are, and just maybe a little wider than your shoulders. And you want your toes slightly out. See how mine aren't quite straight forward? They're just slightly out, just a little bit. Now this really helps with the strain that's on your knees. Okay, so as you go down, I don't want you having your knees in like this. I want you to have your knees a little out, kind of over where your toes are. So what we're gonna do is just keep really good posture, and we're just gonna sit down in our chairs. But first, kind of sit on the edge of your chair, just like this.
You lose.
And then
Sure.
now, most of you have arms on your chairs, so if you need to, you go ahead and use those to help you get down and get back up, but we're gonna do 10, okay? So here's your number 2. Okay, push up. Now, as you're standing up, you want to, let's do number 3. As
And
you're
again, if
standing
your
up,
knees hurt, you don't have the right form.
yeah,
Oh, then I don't have the right form because.
So do you go more out if your knees?
yeah, you want to have your knees a little out like this, and that helps alleviate, because if you have them really close together, it puts a lot of strain right in here. If you have them out like this, it helps you, that's the more natural.
Feel the difference in that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost
think
like a froggy
like a
squat.
sumo
Yeah.
squatter, you know, it's
Much
different.
different.
So now when you're making sure you have good posture, and really make sure you're sticking your butt out behind you as you're sitting down. Okay, good job. Now as you're standing up, what you want to think about is keeping your weight kind of on the heels of your feet as you're standing up. So come down and then kind of push up through your heels. There you go. Now something like if you are losing your balance or anything like that, always make sure you're looking up. I often look up at the ceiling, where the ceiling and the wall meet, to help me, keep my butt going back and knee down. Okay? Now the goal in this is a really beginner move to do the squats on a chair, because everybody needs to do this. I mean, we want to be able to sit up and get out of a chair without the lift thing that we've all seen the commercials for our whole life. So, and it's definitely strengthening your quads, which are the front of your thighs, and your butt. Squats are great for your backside and your hamstrings too. So squats are the king of all exercise. Now, the goal is to get to where you can do squats without the chair. You're just going down and up. Now, on the DVDs, we do quite a few squats in the lower body workout. So, if you have to do modified at first, just going more shallow. But as your legs get stronger, they'll help your knees get stronger. And it's really vital to your knee health to have your quads strong, because that helps your kneecap track properly. So that was the first exercise.
It is crazy. As you get stronger, it's so crazy to me. We had some little nieces and nephews come stay with us this summer, and 2 songs on the Wii, the kids were winded and they were wanting to leave the room. And I do 10 songs. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're 2 songs, they're done. So and if you start doing the Wii, or you start doing this stuff, you'll get winded. But then you'll find that you can do more and more and more until you're at this level where you don't even think about it anymore until someone else can't do it.
Yeah, then you're like, whoa, okay. I didn't, even remember how bad of shape I was in. And it is true. Your body really adjusts quickly. And like I said, it wants to be excellent and awesome. So it's going to, adjust and figure out how to do it better next time. And each time, and that's the addiction part that I have with it. It's like, man, what can my body do now? I did this, let me try this, and it's like, wow, I'm strong, But then, something happens, you get sick, and then you don't work out for a couple of weeks, and then you start over again. So we all go through that. It's just a matter of, making sure you do start over again and get back to it as soon as your true excuse is over. Don't ever let that turn into years and years. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do, if you can just pull your chairs forward just a little bit so you can get behind it. So you can slinker in there. So here, I'll help you here. Pull this out just a little bit. We're going to do lunges with the chair. Okay, so lunges are a great exercise, again, for our legs and our quads and our glutes and our knees. And they're just one leg at a time, basically. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand holding onto your chair so you don't lose your balance. And then you're just going to go down with one leg at a time. And this front leg is the leg you're working. Okay, this back leg is just back here, helping your balance, everything that you do, you want to be pushing up with this front leg. And you want to try to keep where your knee is over your ankle, and you definitely don't want it past your toes. So you want to keep it to where you're going to, for you want to go down a little bit, stick your butt back a little bit as you're going down. So. And you don't have to go down very far. Like I said, right away, you might just be going down this, just a little bit. But hold on to, if you need to, hold on to the chair And if you have difficulty going down, sometimes you need to get a little bit bigger stance, and that might be your issue. So you just get a little
Especially
bit
the
bigger.
long leg girls like me. I got a long
Yeah.
way to go.
Basically, you can almost do the splits.
I almost have to almost be split
Yeah.
and not be like out over
Yeah,
my toe. It's true.
exactly. So, and another key with that is like making sure you're sticking your butt back a little bit, not just leaning forward like this. So, okay, so let's switch legs. And then make sure you always do both sides. You don't want one really big leg and one little leg. That would look weird.
Like how we did this like today, we did it tomorrow.
There's 3, 4.
Okay, so I'm already sore and you just make it worse.
Yeah. So you've been working out
Challenges
that
change.
Shoes on. Yeah, because I really wasn't working out. We have at work we now have a trainer.
Oh,
And
good.
she was there yesterday and she was showing me some moves and I did a few of them and today I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, a key thing to, you brought up a good point is, let's do one more, is the very first time you really start doing strength training, you're going to get that horrible soreness. But if you're consistent with it, like you make sure that you do your workouts on a weekly basis, make sure you're consistently doing them, you don't get that horrible soreness ever again. It's only when you stop and start again that you get that. So just, be like, okay, I got this horrible soreness, I'm never going to stop working out again in my life, so I don't ever have to do this. You do get a little sore, but you don't get that, like, I can't sit
amazing
down, go
to
to the
me.
bathroom sore.
Right.
We didn't do the whole workout.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went through different, like, okay, this is how you do this, and I did a few of them. Okay, that's right, that's how you. And she's put together a plan for me. But today I got up and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to feel when I do the whole thing?
It honestly, you'll get acclimated to it, and it's just those muscles tearing. That's all.
It's the muscle. It is. I can feel them here and here and
Okay,
here.
now the next exercise I had written laying leg lifts. We're not going to do the laying ones. We're just going to do them on a chair, so that you don't have to lay on the floor, since we don't have yoga mats or anything. So what I want you to do is focus on standing on your left leg and using the chair for balance, and then taking your right leg and just lifting it up to the side. So lift it up, nice and slow and controlled. Kind of pause at the top too. Just lift it up, pause and down.
Everything
Pause.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I want you to flex your foot. So that means, keeping your foot up, not pointed. You can definitely, a different variation is you work different muscles, believe it or not, when you do that versus when you have your foot flexed. So we're just going to do the foot flexed because I get cramps if I point my toes. So I'm being selfish here. So just do like 10 of these. So we got about 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. And really, don't think you have to lift your leg up to the ceiling or anything. Just as high as is comfortable, and just kind of pause and hold it there and back down. The key thing that I believe in, and that's maybe different than if you've done classes or anything, or even workout DVDs a lot of times, they're so fast. Like, oh my God, they move so fast. So don't worry, about trying to go as fast as even a DVD does sometimes. Just slow and controlled, and thinking about what you're doing and making sure you're doing it right is more beneficial than going fast a lot of times. So okay, let's do the other leg. 1, 2. So you can do these on the floor too, and we've probably, almost all of us have done that. Probably laying down on the one side and lifting your leg up. But sometimes it's nice to be able to do them a different way. And this is definitely an easy way that everyone can do, and you don't even have to have workout clothes on to do them. You can do them during
During the day
your
while
conference
you're
call,
at work.
or where the kids are at recess. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so that's some lower body exercises that you can do. Now we're going to do a couple upper body. One that pretty much everyone can do. Everyone hears push-ups and they run screaming out of the room. But we're going to teach you wall push-ups. So it's really easy. Everybody can do wall push-ups, and it's a great way to get started on doing push-ups. So wall push-ups are typically the easiest, and then you can go down to your knees, and so like anywhere, if you go, man, I can't even do those push-ups that's on this workout DVD. Find a wall and do them on the wall. So basically all you need to do is find a Good open space on the wall. Be about 2 feet away from the wall and put your hands just slightly wider than shoulder width apart, about at chest level. So then when you come forward towards the wall and then just push back up. Try to keep your body kind of in a straight line and push up. So just do about 10 of these. Make sure you're breathing too. So you want to always exhale with exertion. So as you're pushing up, breathe out. And as you're lowering down, breathe in. And then out as you push up. In. So that goes with any exercise. So it's exhale with exertion. So when you're doing the hard part, you want to be exhaling. Okay, good job. So did that feel challenging? So you know that's a great place to start. To make them a little harder before you go down to your knees, you can always get a little further away from the wall, or you can do one arm at a time even, where you're just doing one arm. That makes them harder too. So.
Could you use a countertop that's maybe a little bit lower?
Yeah, some people actually, will talk about using the back of their couch or a table, and so you can, go like this. But you just gotta make sure it's not gonna fall out underneath there. So that's wall push-ups. Now we're gonna do some with bands. We're gonna have to partner up. So I'll give every other person a band, and just go ahead and sit down in your chair. Oh wait, you don't get one.
I know.
Your buddies and to your buddies, and then I have in here. And then do you want one? Tammy, do you want one?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. So we're gonna do rows, and these are for your back. So basically what you want to do is open up your band, kind of lay it on the floor in front of you. Now put your legs like they were when we were squatting. So kind of a little wider, and then you want to take the band, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, and I want you to wrap it around your hands just a couple times. So like put it in between your hands and your thumbs, and then wrap it around once or twice. And then what we want to do is sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to row in. So row in where your hands are kind of towards the side of your tummy, okay? So row in, and then back. Yeah. Kind of right in here. So you're going to feel this in your back. The goal is to kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together. So exhale, inhale. Let's begin.
How do you know if you have enough tension on your band?
If it's challenging at all.
not
By
fine.
number 8, 9, and 10, you should be like going, this is getting hard, I can feel it.
Okay.
And so like if it's not hard enough, and your back muscles are actually really strong, but a lot of it just like what Tammy's doing even without the band, just even doing the motion and like squeezing and thinking about those muscles, activate those muscles. Okay, so why don't you trade with your partner so they can try it out with the band. And so these are seated chair rows, and they're for your back. So your backs have actually some of the biggest muscles in your whole body, and they're great for burning fat off the rest of your body if you really get those muscles activated. I call them fat furnaces. So it's a row in towards, like more towards the side of your tummy, like towards your back here. So keeping your elbows pulling back. Good. Make sure you're exhaling, good posture. And as you roll back, kind of think about lifting your chest up, kind of like a rooster. I would say call it proud rooster. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And really exhale and squeeze. So nice slow and controlled movement. So you're feeling that in your back? That's good. This will really help with your posture and neck pain and upper back pain. And also it works your shoulders too really nicely. So okay, good. So about 10 of those. Any of these exercises, 10 reps is good. And you can work your way up from, doing one set, maybe 2 sets to 3 sets. So a set means just you do 10 reps and you rest for like a minute or so, maybe stretch in between, and then do another set of 10 reps. So if you do another 10 reps, and then you could rest again and then do another set. Or you could go through like the whole series of exercises and then do it again. That would be more like what you call a circuit. So, all right, now the next exercise is shoulder press. And so this time we're gonna just put our feet a little closer. Same thing, and we're only gonna hold them, not wrapped around, but just like within our hand here. And then I want you to put the up above your shoulders like this, okay? Now what we're gonna do is just press up. Press up.
Feels like you're gonna pop.
So just straighten your arms out above your head. There you go.
Nice thing is I've had them pop before and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, maybe if you put your arms out a little bit,
Right.
like this, not so close to like
Okay.
this, just more
Like
like this.
this.
There you go.
It's not like a rubber band. Somebody got
It
that.
doesn't?
No, it doesn't. It's like popping
Tammy's
before.
gone through like hundreds of
I have.
Trust me. It's not like Wile E. Coyote.
Well, I'm so tall that, they need to make tall girl bands.
We should have a whole fitness program called
I know,
Tall Girl
tall girl,
Fitness.
yeah.
Just for Tammy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now switch with your partner so they can try it out. So on these is working your shoulders, and some of the most common areas that people get injured as we age and get weak is in our shoulders, and our knees, of course, and our lower back. So a lot of what we're doing is trying to strengthen the muscles so that they don't get weak and grind in the wrong places. So just push up over your head. Good. So you can
Want me to
put
start
your
out
arms
wide? Or you
little,
want it
yeah, you want it more
wider or
wider, like your hands up more at an L.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
okay, I see what you're saying.
There you go.
How many remember the booty lift? Like y'all done the DVD with.
I never did
I
that.
love the booty lift. It's my favorite. Is that what you call it, the booty lift?
Is that the one where they wear those?
Or no, where you go like this. That one with the bands.
Oh, my booty lift. Yeah, I just did that last night. I was like, I did my exercise DVD last night. So like,
I did my own DVD.
I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm working out with myself. Boy, I was like, man, I look kind of good. I was like, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. I was so embarrassed at first, I couldn't even watch.
I can't ever see my own DVD now.
Okay, good job on that. Now, the next exercise, we're going to use the bands once again. And these are bicep curls. So we do want to wrap around a couple times on this one, just like we were on that first exercise. And then we're just going to curl our biceps. So just make sure you kind of pin your elbows into your side and lift it up. And really, think about building these guns. Everybody will be impressed. That's what everybody notices right away when you start working on it. Oh my goodness, you're getting a bicep. So, I know guys really like to work their biceps more than girls usually, but. And so
I know I'd
when-
rather squat all day long than do push-ups. Any day.
Okay, now go ahead and switch with your partner. Well, that's good. Because squats,
Do not want to
honestly, they're the king of the gym. So if you can master doing some squats, you're going to burn more calories than you can ever imagine. Every time I do a leg workout, I am so hungry. Like, I can't eat enough. I just, like, it kills me. So just basically I've accepted it that I'm just going to pig out after I eat. Well, I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. I'm just hungry.
Michelle's
So-
picking out the celery spread.
Yeah. I ate an extra olive. So.
On the edge.
No, I've actually seen her eat, so.
I do eat a lot actually. Somebody just asked me that today on Facebook. Do you count your calories? How much do you eat? I'm like, honestly, you don't want to know.
But that's the beauty of exercising is you can have so much more
Yeah.
and justify it.
Yeah, and it really, you know, the amount that I do exercise and how active I am and where I'm at in my fitness level, you know, I almost have to eat on purpose a lot of times because it's like I don't, all of a sudden I realize, I'm like, man, I don't feel very good today, and I'm like, I probably didn't eat enough. And so it's such a blessing to be at that place. I mean, I've been those years where it wasn't like that, and I attribute it to really, having the great knowledge about hormones that I do, and also strength training. I mean, it's changed my life, where I used to be a cardio bunny and just do, just things that were running, or, cardio, spend put the time and put more time in and not get the body I wanted. So adding the resistance training and the understanding of hormones was life-changing, and then how food affects my hormones too. So, there's a lot that I'm still learning. Every single year, I think I learn more and more and more. And it's just a process, like I look at what I ate 10 years ago versus what I eat now, and how I felt then versus how I feel now. And it's ever evolving. It's just kind of a constant thing, and I learn it all the time. And some of the things I thought back then were wrong. Some of the things I taught my clients back, even 5 years ago were not completely true, but they, now I just, keep on getting better and better. And it's a process. Don't ever think it's like gonna be like wham, you're gonna be perfect. You're gonna be hitting that diet perfect every day. It's not. It's just, building one small, habit on top of another, one choice, learning one better choice and consistently making those choices. So, and we all have our days where we go backwards, and some days, we do really well, other days we don't do so well. It's the overall long haul that you want to be concerned
So
with.
we talked about that, teaching thinking versus learning. When you teach thinking a different way, because some of the things you guys learned in this 12 weeks, that information may change. There may be new research that comes out, or maybe I even figure out a way to do things different, or someone else figures it out. So it's not this is the only way, but this is certainly a way that helps a lot of people, and it's an evolving thought process. And on your individual journey, you all are just going to evolve in your own journey and what works for you. So it's really getting you thinking.
And that's so much of just learning about yourself and about hormones. And it's not just for you, it's for your children, and and everyone around you that sees you. They're watching you. They're going, what? Is she really gonna follow through with this time? Is she really gonna, she's she's talking the talk, but is she really gonna walk the walk and do this? And you know what? Show them. That's what a lot of, those little things are some of the biggest motivation that you can have. So the next exercise that we're going to talk about is for our abs. So these are called vacuums, and basically all it is sucking in your stomach. And so what you want to do is, you can do them anywhere. You can do them standing up, laying down, sitting in the car, waiting at a stoplight. That's a great cue to go ahead and suck it in. So what you want to do is, it's not just sucking it in, it's like exaggerated sucking it in. So you want to really pull it in, like, when you were a kid and trying to look like a skeleton, suck it in and show your ribs. So really suck it in, and, try to breathe if you can. See, I'm talking while I'm doing this. But that's, like a ventriloquist move. So just only do it for 10 seconds, just in case you aren't breathing, okay? So relax.
Everyone goes.
Yeah, so this goes along with, this is a passive ab exercise. Or it's not passive. Sucking it in is passive. I want you guys to think it out all the time, your posture, and one of the biggest things is just, engaging your ab muscles to where they're in. They're not just, hanging out, just, relax. Of course, we all have times where we just want to chill out and relax, but if you, practice this, you could do it basically 24/7, where you're just, pulling in your stomach. Now, vacuums is more of an active exercise. They're really to target your transverse abs, which I nickname T-abs in my books. And they're a group of muscles that run from your spine around your waist, like a corset. So you think about or a belt, or anything it cinches up that area. So we go, well, we got it all. I had some kids, so my belly just hangs out. Well, you can rebuild those muscles just like any other muscle in your body. So the way that you do that is by actively working it and passively working it. So passively working it, just having good posture, sucking it in as you go throughout your life, and then actively working it by doing exercises like the vacuum. So let's go ahead and suck it back in for 10 seconds.
That actually helped me get out.
So you're kind of pulling yourself up when you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like feeling. Yes, you can feel that. When you're first starting. And the key thing too with any exercise, when you're first starting, you're like, yeah, she said it was supposed to be working my back, or she said that this was doing that, and you might be going, I didn't feel it. I can't even feel those muscles, but I was there too. I couldn't feel anything in my abs when I first started back after having 4 kids and twins and C-section, and it was all flabby and I had no muscle tone whatsoever. My husband told me something. He's like, just imagine they're there. You just imagine them there. And then eventually, like it took months. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I feel them doing something, And then I was like,
feedback training.
Yeah,
You have to
imagine it. And, the same thing with other exercises too. For probably like 3 years working my back muscles, like lat pull downs, because I was really trying to build up my body for a figure contest, which is associated with bodybuilding. But I was like, and they're like, you don't have a back. I'm like, well, I don't know, I can't feel it back there. So for like 3 years, I'm like doing these lat pull downs, like, feel your back. I'm like, I'm just imagining them. And all of a sudden one day I was like, bam, I felt them. And then after that, that was it. I could build them and I could really, so any muscle on your body, it has, there's the neurons and whatever it is, just depending. And, same thing with my left arm of my bicep. I can't feel it. I can't hardly flex it. So we all have little weird things like that, but I just pretend like I do. I don't really feel like I'm flexing it, but and eventually with the mind muscle connection and strengthening that, you'll feel it. So just hold tight and just do the motions. Go through the motions if you have to at first. Don't lose hope. Your body is responding. It's science. It changes. It doesn't, you're not any different than anybody else where you just, don't ever grow a muscle or something. But everybody's body has the capability to build some muscle and well, maybe not everybody's. There are some really weird, rare conditions that, but most everybody, none of you have that here because you walked in here. So, but yeah, so that is, we're going to do one final thing. There's a couple more items on there, but we're kind of just going forever here. So one final exercise that I want to just share with you guys is a cardio exercise. And everybody's like, well, I don't have an exercise machine at home. It rained out today. I don't have any DVDs, or my DVD player broke, or every excuse under the sun to not do something. But anyone can do. You can do intervals pretty much anytime, anywhere. All you need is a chair and your arms. So you don't even need to have good knees. So what I want you to do is just sit up in your chair and run. Okay, so do this for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but you're gonna actually. Yeah.
They're all up in my office.
I can actually win this
You guys feel that your heart rate is up? Okay, so then just rest. Like say rest for 30 seconds. Do that again. If you did that for 5 minutes, honestly, that will improve your cardiovascular fitness. And you could work up. I don't know if you want to do, that for, 25, 30 minutes or something like that. But it's definitely something you can do, and it changes your mental state. It changes your body, and it gets your heart rate up. So it's something, and it actually, you might actually get sore, in the back of your shoulders, and you're moving using your core, So it's like, when you go, man, my knee's bugging me, I can't go for a walk, or there's always something you can do. Just figure out something, even if it's say, doing the wall push-ups, just do, every little bit counts. And, really when you want to change and you really take hold of that, which you ladies have, you've made that decision. So just put in the little steps that you need to. It doesn't have to overtake your life. It can just fit into your life, and you're going to do great. So, like I said, if anybody wants to go to my website, my contact information is on there. I have some business cards too. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or message me. And also, my rally room is free too, so anyone can join that too and find a little more support and other ladies that are.
Is the rally room the one that's just for women?
Mm-hmm. It's just for women. It's private, so it's not like Facebook where everybody can see you or.
So you said foods relating to hormones.
Mhm.
Specifically, are you talking like high sugar content affecting insulin, affecting other
Yeah,
hormones?
and there's those foods, of course. You know, we all hear about insulin a lot with insulin resistance and carbs and glucose. But there's other foods that are estrogenic. So there's, for instance, one of the most healthy ones that everyone's eating is sweet potatoes. And you know, I'm like, well, they're great, but they are estrogenic. So just don't eat them like every single meal because you know you're gonna. And if you search estrogenic foods, you come up with all sorts of different lists. And so there's good ones and bad ones, and I train clients for doing contests. So we're really talking about trying to get really lean and really, you know, muscles popping. And some of the times I'm like, hey, listen, what you're eating is not, you know, doing what we want for this. You know, it's you know, not a bad thing sometimes, especially if your estrogen is low and things like that. So you can eat different things, of course.
Soy's a big one we think of.
Yeah, exactly. Soy is a very common one that most people have heard that before with the soy. But you know, there's a lot of other, you know, the foods that are good for you. You know, and I'm not saying they're not good for you, and you know, it's not something you have to always run away from. But in the situation to where you're trying to get the snowball rolling down the hill, where you're trying to get, you know, because the more estrogen you have, the more your body wants to store fat, the more estrogen you make. It's like it's a snowball where you're gonna, like, you know, just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. Versus if you can get the momentum going in the right direction, you know, just, you know, so every little thing, you know, you think, okay, what can I do to get rid of this extra estrogen in my body? You know, like different supplements help. You know, different food choices help. You know, definitely, you know, glucose and insulin plays a huge factor in a lot of your sex hormones too. So, you know, just being aware of every little thing adds up. You know, and if you find 10 things that you could change that would just help you, you know, get over that hump and get some momentum going towards the body you desire, and not even the body. You know, it's like I say, the body you desire or whatever. It's more about how you feel. You know, it is, because if you're estrogenic, you're not usually a happy person. You're not feeling very good. You don't have much energy. You have, you know, mood swings. You have, you know, water retention that doesn't make you feel very good and things like that. So definitely it affects you. But yeah, I mean, you could get, you know, I try to keep, like in my books and in the articles and in when I answer questions, I like to keep everything pretty, you know, 3rd grade level, where pretty much everybody that I talk, my daughters could understand what I'm talking about. They're 10 years old, my youngest are, and so it's really important because, you know, most people aren't as excited about this information as I am. They're like, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what I can do. So, but yeah. Any other questions about anything? Did you work up a little sweat?
Do you have like those estrogenic foods like in your book?
I don't actually have them in there, but I have written a couple articles about it, and when I customize diets for people, I do. But honestly, you can find a lot of information just by Googling it. So if you put estrogenic foods in, you'll come up with all kinds of really great resources about it. And you know, just there's some that you can eat that will help eliminate the estrogen. And so they say if you're estrogenic, eat these foods, and they usually have a lesson. Then if you're you know, you want to eliminate these foods too. So and you know, sometimes just doing it even for a couple months is just enough to help, you know, get the ball rolling. And one of the supplements that's huge for eliminating estrogen from your body is acidophilus, or a probiotic. And I recommend taking a really good pill over eating yogurt or, you know, anything like that. So you know, a good bottle of probiotic, you know, will run you $50, but they're worth it because they really help, you know, get the good bacteria flowing, and also they help so many other functions in your body.
I swear that by acidophilus, I mean, that's what's kept me from having all these sick days out at school.
Yeah, it's huge.
And my boys are on it too.
Right.
they
Yeah.
haven't been sick very
It
much
helps
either.
with, really good ones. One, do you have one that you
We
recommend?
do, I think we do advocate
Yeah.
for that one.
Yeah, and there's also B6 is a huge.
The B vitamins are all good, liver cleanses, they
Yeah.
keep the methylation
going.
process going.
Yeah,
Folate.
so a couple, just, little, and there's always, you can get all kinds of conflicting information. I like to stick to the stuff that doesn't have a lot of side effects and is pretty much, something tried and true and proven that I've taken, that I believe in. And so if it passed all those tests, then I'll recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make things really complicated.
Yeah, and you could end up taking
There's so many
2
choices.
handfuls
Yeah.
of pills every day, and you gotta pick, you gotta pick your battles sometimes with supplements. You're like, okay, what's the most important thing that I wanna work on right now? And for me, I was like, just start off with the basics. Start off with a good multivitamin and a calcium supplement, and, I definitely an acidophilus, and then, from there, really look at hormonal support type vitamins that, support your natural hormone production. Because we want, we don't want everything to come from prescriptions or outside. We want our bodies to work optimally to build the hormones the way your body was meant to. And it wants to. It's just a lot of times we've really, we've terrorized our bodies by all the things we've done, with just being inactive or eating foods that are toxic and it's just time adding up with that, where you don't take care of yourself. It adds up, and you gotta expect it to take time to get it back. But the good news is you can. I mean, there's I'm always inspired by those videos that you see every once in a while on Facebook, or some of my clients will show me like old ladies that are like
Oh, in their
90 years
80s,
old.
yeah,
Like,
90s,
and they're like
yeah.
hulking out, like, and they look great, and I see it, with my own clients too, and one that's really impressive, my mother-in-law, she turned 69 this year, and I was like, well, will you let me train you? She was staying with me over the winter, and she's like, no, you'll kill me. And I go, no, a good personal trainer trains you for where you're at. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to figure out what you can do and help you and teach you. And it's so fun to see, now 6 months later, how she's progressed. She's got biceps, and she's eating right and everything. And it's just so cool because, at 69, you go, what can you do? I'm just old, but
So
you're
natural.
not. You're
So
not,
natural, yeah.
and you too, a lot of people are impressed with celebrities that are older, being like, man, it's kind of like, yeah, how can they be still, and that's an intense lifestyle too. The stuff that they have to do, and, it's definitely, you can all do it. I believe in you, for sure.